Alright, so it's TNT Tuesday. Guys have piddled around long enough. Hopefully you can hear me, because as Mary said, this corner of ours is rather noisy at 5 o'clock. But I figured since today is the last day, official day of winter, I should probably come outside because it's absolutely gorgeous in southern Wyoming. About 62 was the last I saw on the Jeep. I just got back from running some errands, so yeah, it's just crazy. How you doing, Robert? I don't know if you saw Tammy's reel the other day, but I thought I'd hit it. Let's do that. So we now do brakes. And air conditioning. Shock struts. Tune-up and diagnostic. We're uptown. Then, and I think you've seen that, it's our new sign. We come over on this side. And we do lift kits, gears, and lockers. We are 4x4 specialists. Pretty good. Say hi, Steve. Hi, Steve.
White truck or gray truck?
Just leave him here. I'll pick him up in the morning. I got to get Ryan's trailer and tow it out there. So, what else is new? I don't know. I'm tired. Lots of driving. Made it to Kearney last night. Dropped Aaron and Ronan. Spent the night there. I got up this morning and drove the rest of the way. 4.5 hours or something. Stopped in Sidney, Nebraska. Hi, Michael. So here's some words of advice from your Uncle Bob. If you ever go to Sidney, about the only thing in Sidney worth stopping for is a gas station, if you need gas, or Cabela's. Both local diners were closed. No joy. So then we're like, well, the hell with it. We'll go to McDonald's, which is never our first choice. And the McDonald's, not necessarily just Sydney, I think it's nationwide. First thing you notice when you walk in, everyone there is my age or older behind the counter. Or they don't necessarily speak English. You do the math. So we stood at the counter because I absolutely refuse to use those freaking kiosk things. Pisses me off. No one would come to the counter. So yeah, I agree, Robert, but I mean, you need some road fuel and just, you know, the biscuits and making biscuits aren't bad. You know, you can't really screw that up. But you can't get a human. They're standing there, playing grab ass, having a good time, doing whatever the hell they were doing. Mary yelled at them because Mary used to be a manager at McDonald's. Like, hello? Nobody answered her. Nobody cares. So we promptly left there, flying the bird, which there again, nobody probably gives a shit about that either, and went to the Maverick and had a Moab, mother of all burritos. It's still sitting there. So, yeah. So anyway, you know, don't want to turn this into a political rant, but if you're on our live, you probably know my opinion, and we'll just leave it at that. powder dry. So anyway, we're standing outside, kind of away from the corner, so it's not as noisy. Nice blue sky. Got some clouds rolling in. That one looks a little ominous, but behind it is more blue sky, so yeah, no big deal. So what's going on at TNT? Well, a mess. We moved out of our manufacturing facility of 18 years on rather short notice. Thank you very much. And I'll leave the superlatives off. I bet it is, Stephen. Now's the right time of year to be down there. It ain't too damn hot yet. So last Tuesday, kind of blew off TNT Tuesday. I think Tammy did it. Let the cat out of the bag. We were going to Wisconsin. Yeah, that sounds about right. Give Tanner a call. We'll get you one going. Because we were slamming and jamming. Mary was in shipping, trying to get things out. I was finishing turning on the last of the machines. That was my goal. Since we didn't get to come or go to Mexico, we came back here on a trailer. That's another long story. That's on my list of things to fix tomorrow. To replace the bullshit studs that are in a Jeep Gladiator. They're absolute garbage. Piss poor, rookie engineering. That shit ain't gonna cut it. So that's one of my jobs tomorrow is to find replacement studs. I'll keep you tuned in on how that goes. Shouldn't be too difficult. I'll convert it to 9/16 if I have to. It's like 11 thousandths difference. 9/16 is bigger, and there's like 7 million 9/16 stud part numbers on the planet. So I ain't gonna get stuck in the middle of nowhere again waiting on freaking Jeep's bullshit. So, what else? Oh, so we were jamming, got out of here, I don't know, 4:30 for some much needed R&R. Mary and I went to Estes Park, to a cabin in the woods, and we're just gonna unplug for a day or two. Even though the forecast was calling for snowmageddon, I'm like, yeah, whatever. So we got up there, damn near ran off the road and killed in a head-on accident on the way. Some moron coming down the canyon decided he or she or it or they or whatever couldn't be bothered to be waiting in traffic in a no passing zone. So there was 5 cars in a group. That it, they, him, she, her, whatever, was number 3, and in the middle of a left-hand turn, turned right into our lane. It's a 2-lane road, one up, one down, and damn near took out the car in front of us. But luckily, that person was somewhat paying attention. I saw it come and slammed on the brakes. As they slammed on the brakes, that person hugged the center line. Numbnuts went 3 wide on our right, so the ditch side, and promptly ran out of ditch and rolled it down the ditch, barrel rolled it a couple times. Don't know what their status was, because I figured stupid is as stupid does. If you were that asinine to try and pass on a twisty mountain road, you probably should be in the ditch and you get what you get. So we made it to Estes. Went to the grocery store, got a few groceries, checked in the cabin, spent the night, some much needed hot time. Wednesday morning, got up to some flurries, flurried on and off throughout the day. Had a nice dinner. If you're ever in Estes, Mama Rose's is pretty good Italian. So go check them out. Went in with flurries, came out with about an inch or two on the Jeep in an hour's supper. Got back to the cabin, settled in for the evening, and woke up Thursday morning to 2 feet on the level. It snowed all night. Of course, it was no big deal. Threw the Jeep in four-wheel drive, out we went, down the canyon at 20 miles an hour. Plowing up there is not necessarily CDOT's priority, but at least they had been through once earlier in the morning. Got down, headed straight for Nebraska, spent the night in Kearney on Thursday. Friday, drove all day to Wisconsin, had Friday night fish with Mom and my brother. Hung out Saturday, Sunday, and jumped in the car yesterday morning and drove back to Kearney, spent the night in Kearney, and now we're here. So, back to work this week. Quick walk through here. I don't know if you saw Tammy's reel earlier. Ryan Schubert has left the building. He's on a temporary sabbatical with his Jeep. And drove it home today. Has already texted me several times about how nice it drives and goes down the highway straight, and you know, everything that Jeep build should do when it leaves the shop. So quickly replace that with Penn Farriers. It's kind of in hovercraft mode at the moment. Tomorrow we start major surgery. So Jason got these adjustable stands fabricated for our four-post lift. While I was gone, we put them on today when I got back, and somewhere right there, all of that goes in the dumpster because we are doing a back half kit. So he's still got a few odds and ends to get out. He's got to pull the gas tank. Have to take the old school Poison Spider rear stinger tire carrier thing off, which has his typical got a cool stinger tire carrier thing and don't carry a tire because the tire was mounted way too high and totally screwed up the weight transfer in the Jeep. Whenever you started uphill, the front end wanted to be where the rear end is, but not the easy way. So, you know, you'll see a lot of that next week at Jeep Safari, all these knuckleheads that spent thousands and thousands on tire carriers to run around in Moab all week with no tire on them because the Jeeps wheel like ass with a tire on the back when you see nothing but sky out the windshield. I don't know, doesn't make any sense to me. So, but anyway, all of that's got to come off. The frame will be zapped. Well, stay tuned, Vince. We'll keep pushing updates as we go, and you and Tanner and I will keep chatting if there's any questions you have. So this back half will be a little interesting because these diffs are pretty narrow. This Jeep was built early 2000s, mid 2000s at best. Ben, you can clarify if you're on. So the trend back then was to do 63-inch wide axles. Yeah, welcome to South Greeley Racetrack. All these meatheads think that's cool to do that all day long. Sorry, I'm about to fall, so I gotta watch where I'm walking. So this one will get interesting, let's say. So we'll see if we know we can pull it off, but we'll see how many modifications we have to make to our standard kit, which, by the way, the standard kit calls for JK width axles, so that's 65 inches minimum, Tanner, minimum, not 63, 65. So we'll get her. Nice thing is this particular Jeep has a Mastercraft, I think it's Mastercraft, rear replacement back seat. So the seat is much narrower than a standard stock TJ seat. So the customer said, if you gotta go in through the top, go through the top. You gotta tell me twice, I like the Sawzall. So, what do we got over here? Old Blue's back. So, pretty clean, square body Chevy, crew cab, 1 ton, single wheel. Yeah, I hear that, Tanner. I'll send you the extra bill. Well, last year we did a bunch of engine work. It's got a big block in it. Sniper fuel injection, got that running pretty good for them. All new grill, because the grill that was in it was pretty gross, which that didn't fit for shit, but Sean, our previous fabricator, did a pretty decent job of making it fit. So and Nick is gearing and lockering and rebuilding the front end, because beach season, this is the customer's beach cruiser at Lake McConaughey. For those of you that don't know where Big Mac is, Big Mac is in the middle of nowhere, western Nebraska. It's a big lake. It's on the Platte River impoundment. So, but there's tons and tons of beach. So his plan is to crank the tunes, because it has a lot of tunes, and go cruising the beach, and you do the math from there. So, so we're getting it ready for him to go do that. Ben's will be here for another couple of weeks. Gotta work our way through the back half. That's why we built these stands. So if you're taking notes, Vince, probably don't need to go this elaborate. But you do need a way to support the chassis right there in front of that rearmost body mount. You really want to weld something right in here. Piece of angle iron, piece of square tube, piece of something, hopefully with flat surfaces, that will keep your frame from going kaboing or skinny or wide. The adjustable stands we just built, we shouldn't have any square issues, but you definitely want to hold that frame so it can't spread or do anything stupid when you cut that off. We'll get some more pictures and maybe some reels going the next couple of days as Jason's fitting the jig and how you fit the jig and where you cut and blah blah blah. It's actually, it sounds a lot harder than it is, but it's pretty straightforward. This one will be like I said, a little different because the axle is narrow. We did not fully jig weld it like we normally do, so you'll see it going together in pieces. And the reason we're doing that, because if we have to make a one-off coil bucket or coil-over tower, sorry, that's a little deeper into the frame than normal and potentially into the tub. We don't have to do reverse fabrication because everybody knows reverse fab sucks. So this one will go together in pieces, but normally this kit will come, I'll say 90% welded out. There's a few things that won't get welded just because if we did that, we'd never put it on. But it's better than the other erector set setups that are out there. It's all tabbed and slotted. It really goes together really well. So more on that one. This Jeep is getting what we around the shop refer to as Tanner's back half, because it keeps a gas tank. It is not the big stretch like what's on mine. And this Jeep was already stretched like 4.5, somewhere in that neighborhood. So basically we're just maintaining the wheelbase as it was, because you can't really go anymore or you'll be into the gas tank. So we already built all the control arms, so we know where all that's going to end up. So really all we got to do is the frame part and the coilover part. Stay tuned on the sway bar. I've done several of these lately. Max over at Rock Jock 4x4 has tuned me into one of their universal sway bars, and it's working really slick. So stay tuned. We'll be making some custom mounts for that. If that is something you require or would like to experiment with, get a hold of Tanner and we can make some brackets pretty quick to adapt that sway bar. Because mounting it through the frame or to the frame or whatever that Rock Jock normally has you do a rear TJ anti-rock, doesn't work. There's just nowhere for it to go. So I dreamt up this. We used to do an axle mounted sway bar years ago, and the guy I had that was doing the machining and whatnot, of course, thought he knew better and changed a few of my drawings, and they failed miserably. And then he went out of business, and we just kind of abandoned the project. But now that we have access to this one from Rock Jock, you'll start to see it a lot more on that build. It's a dual triangulated 4-link, really plugs up the pipe, so to speak, for where you can put things and where you can't. And there's a lot more where you can't than where you can't. So this sway bar really works out slick for this setup. So stay tuned for that. And other than that, I think I'm heading home, make Mary some dinner since it's so nice. Blow the winter dust off the grill.
What's going on there?
And we'll do some.
How's it going, buddy?
Good, how are you?
He's live.
I'm gonna do some smoked poblanos and thick cut pork chops and some grilled taters. So just get into the swing of the season. Enjoy your first day of spring tomorrow. If you can get out and about in your Jeep, go do so. Take a long lunch. Call in sick. Don't show up. Whatever floats your boat. But tomorrow's the first day of spring, and summer is right around the corner. So with that, I'm going to sign off, and we'll see all you guys next week.